Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Mr. Rayhead, would you bring me a cup of coffee, please?
Greetings, newcomer. Come over here and register, please.
Never mind.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. The employee glances at you indifferently. His upper lip is ever so slightly curled in contempt.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The nameplate on the desk tells you you're talking with Dean Rayhead, administrator. The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhead produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhead, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. You squeeze into the narrow window, lean over the reception desk, and key your data into the database. After entering Proceed, you return to your seat. Dean mutters discontentedly to himself as he moves back to his terminal. Rayhead scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Here you are. You now have first-level clearance. As a Blackwing employee, you get access to the barracks, the armory, surveillance rooms, remand centers, and other specialized facilities.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details, or just the short version?
Rayhet nods and points at the ceiling.
First, you need a set of combat gear. Talk to Sidney Maynard, he'll give you everything.
Dean extends his second finger.
Second, weapons. Ms. Margarita Takachenko is the clerk at the armory. After she dispenses your firearm, you'll need to head to the training zone for a brief weapons handling exam.
Dean extends his fourth finger and looks at you meaningfully.
Did I tell you about the combat and tactical training? The fourth step is to visit Instructor Winston Botherby. And finally, science is the overarching purpose behind everything we do here. Go to Professor Van Alden to learn how to study relics, avoid anomalies, and catalog scientific knowledge. This training is mandatory for all wings, not just White.
Dean finishes. Dean catches himself.
Oh, and when you're done with your trainings, proceed to the waiting room. From there, you'll travel to Magellan by bus.
The administrator looks up at you again.
That is all.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sidney Maynard, storekeeper.
Oh, what a lovely angel! Came down from the heavens. Good morning, my lady. Is it something urgent? By the way, my name's Sidney. My friends call me Sid, though I prefer a different name. Want me to whisper it to you?
He smiles languidly, leaning on his elbows against the counter. The effect is more laugh-inducing than playful. Never taking his gaze off you, he reaches under the counter, loses his balance, and clips his chin on the desktop as he falls down. A full minute later, he reappears, grimly rubbing his jaw with a thick logbook. He thumbs through it for a long period, squinting nearsightedly. Eventually, he gives up the struggle and reluctantly puts on his glasses. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Maynard smiles at you over his glasses, practically stripping you naked with his gaze.
Your voice is enchanting, my lady. I could listen to it forever. But right now, you need to listen to me. I am going to give you some instructions. These are the rules.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. You may also freeze to death or get fried. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged, and the more it's damaged, the more often one has to repair it.
The silver steps back from his counter to indicate the repair kit boxes piled in the back of the warehouse. He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any large base, of course, but they're not always available. So, you'd better learn how to use repair kits and workbenches on your own. It's a useful skill.
Please handle relics carefully.
Sidney leans on the counter again and throws you a lazy wink.
No one would ever say no to a cutie pie like you, though. Those are all the instructions, by the way. Shall we get to the giving part now?
The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform.
Standard issue Blackwing equipment, trousers, boots, jacket. Everything is stain resistant and armored. Bear in mind, this gear is made from all natural materials. Oh, Cronus takes care of its employees.
He says with a bit of swagger.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sidney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform. Enjoy.
Sidney waggles his eyebrows.
Anything up to a star in the sky, my dear. Here, take a look.
Sydney leans on the counter.
Honestly, lady, I'd sell you this entire place and give you an incredible discount if I could. But I'm not the one who sets the prices.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
As you leave, Sydney vents a barely audible sigh. What a looker, he says to himself.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Anything urgent, Mr. Krachkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again, instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1. I'm not going to violate protocol.
Katarzyna, my dear, you may violate protocol as long as it benefits the company. Take your lead from your colleagues. Correct your report.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away.
Attention,
A black
attention.
lacquered
Please
pipe,
handle
an
relics
open logbook
carefully.
full of signatures,
In case of
and a
damage,
metal
your
flip
life will be
calendar sit
forfeit.
on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly. Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves.
World, a better place.
Takachenko returns in a few minutes holding a large gun.
You like big toys?
She presents the weapon in her outstretched hands.
Take this and sign here. There are more fun things in store, but they're not for everyone. You see?
After racking the slide, Takachenko points the gun at the ceiling.
High firing rate and good accuracy, even in burst fire mode. Enjoy. Just don't point it at me.
The black hands you the weapon. Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
The black points at a poster on the wall behind her.
Can you see what's written there? Clean and oil. I have nothing to add.
Takachenko pushes a plug of tobacco around the bowl of her pipe.
The safety's on the other side of the world. It's awkward to shoot from around a corner. Also doesn't shoot too well from the left shoulder. Other than that, it's a decent machine gun.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me. Wait a minute. Sign your name here in the meantime.
Margarita reaches under her counter and produces a set of ammunition.
A new set of ammo is issued for every task, but there's so much bureaucracy you'll go daft. Expenditure report. Form number 16. Disposal form. The Silver's running true to form. So if you need more ammo, I recommend you either search or barter for it. Or learn how to craft it on your own. These are useful skills. Trust me.
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She winces in disgust.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World, a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
A lean silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andre Mihai, Science Instructor, floats up as well.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Our honest work will make the world
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andre gropes your hand with an expression of fierce concentration.
So, do you practice? Bells, bulbs, brushing mugs off the table, huh?
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
The silver takes a pull at his cigar and releases a self-important puff of smoke.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the dome remains. And this. Psionics, huh?
He rocks back in his armchair, puffing on his cigar. The toothpicks again slowly rise up from the table. Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Scientists say everyone has an organic skill called psyche. You have it, I have it, everyone has it, uh-huh. Big psyche, you got talents. Small psyche, no talents. You'll need to carry a lighter all your life.
remember, our honest work will make the
Mihai spreads his hands good-naturedly as if to say, "You're welcome." The toothpicks on the table skitter around for a moment, arranging themselves into a curse word. The silver laughs loudly at his joke. The cigar falls from his mouth to float in the air, ash flaking weightlessly from the tip. In reply, Andre jumps up from his armchair and thrusts his face close to yours, exhaling foul cigar smoke.
Quickly, think of a number, huh?
The unexpected question calls a bunch of different numbers to mind, but you can't seem to decide on one. The silver looks into your eyes.
3, 14, 13, 76.
He easily names every number you've got in mind.
attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Mihai smiles around his cigar.
You got some business here? No? Even better, huh?
You don't have to ask him twice. Mihai picks up a light bulb from the table, gripping the base in his hand.
Attention, attention.
The filament begins to glow faintly. Soon enough, it comes to full heat and glows bright orange. In a little over a second, the bulb is shining with a steady white light. The silver laughs contentedly. The silver takes a pull at his cigar and releases a self-important puff of smoke.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the...
Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Scientists say everyone has...
It doesn't take the psychic long to think of something. A small 2-com bond coin jumps up from the table and an invisible force folds it in half. The ruined coin drops into a glass already almost full of coins in the same state. Mihai shakes his head wearily.
No, enough tricks. I'm exhausted. Psionics is... it requires strength. Drains you. Remember that, huh?
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
I'll complain to the Silvers about that idiot. They'll take the appropriate measures.